Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It's Friday, TGIFF, as we like to call it over here. Kermit is back in action, and we have our regular Friday tree over here. Kazi is with us. Looks like in front of his last record deal over there. What is that behind you there?
That is a,
You signed like a music label or something? What's going on?
that is the signed Gorillaz album.
Oh, okay. I
And
was
that,
like, okay,
and
that's
that's
what I was like. I knew it was something.
that's actually their platinum disc from the first album that I got given as well.
Look at
So
that. Look at that. Did not
yeah,
know you were a fan like that.
yeah, man. That was
Hey,
it.
Ryan is here on time, so that's an improvement right there by itself. And with us, as always, from the car, but not dressed in outfit today, is Alex. Alex, what's happening?
Pretty good. It's bad that I don't know who the gorillas are.
Oh, come on now.
Not like a huge fan where I couldn't like spit out songs, but heard of them. Let's put it that way. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this on the screen over here. A lot of headlines. We were kind of like talking about this, and we'll probably talk about it more. Ryan says miracles do happen by being on time, and got a comment in before Alan. So it's a double victory Friday. So we'll talk about it probably later on. We kind of like mentioned it amongst ourselves before we went on air over here. How bad the transfer market is. It's that time of year. Normally it's a lot easier to find interesting headlines and stuff, but I feel like everything you look now is pretty much the same. So Kazi, we'll start with you since you're Mr. Transfers yourself. I'm gonna put this up over here. This is basically the players we have rumored with right now, according to transfer markets. I mean, I'm assuming they picked the ones where multiple articles were written about it, as opposed to just one that one intern came up with.
Yeah.
Out of these names over here, obviously McAllister's already here. Do you see any names that you really, really want, first of all, and you feel like it will happen? Why Kenny Tete is there twice? I don't know. Maybe we're really interested in him. But so yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm banging into the idea, by the way, that Alexis McAllister is only 92% when he literally plays for Liverpool. I'm banging into that idea.
Like, nothing is for sure.
I don't know. We're still maybe. I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to be that guy who sits there and goes, I really want Thuram and I really want Kone. And mate, I've never really watched him play. Like, I can't. We've all watched the same YouTube clips kind of thing, and they all look like our ability kind of players. But we shouldn't sit there and think, oh yeah, this guy is going to be perfect for us because of this, this, and this when you've watched a 12-minute YouTube clip. And I'm hoping the club have a bit more in-depth analysis than that. But the one that stands out to me, who we've probably watched, is Chiesa. But as it clearly says under his name there, a left winger. I think Liverpool have about 45 left wingers. So Liverpool do not need a left winger. So unless they have an idea for him and he wants to come in and play the number 10, not number 8 role, and kind of be that guy, that's a maybe. And the one right at the bottom, which I'm kind of interested in, it is the Lavia one. Who I've watched a lot more of course. Right age profile. Looks like he'll be a long-term replacement for Fabinho, who is now 29. People also forget that, by the way. I know he had a bit of a resurgence towards the end of the season, so he is the one I'm very interested in. But isn't he a thing there with Man City, I think? Isn't he? Was he a play for Man City or something like that? And
who?
Is it Lavia? I can't remember. Yeah. I mean, right, aren't I? Like, he was at Man City, and they've got like a buyback clause. They've got first refusal or something like that on him. So, but if they're about to go and spend 100 million on Rice, then I don't think they're going to be doing the same on, well, don't be spending that money, but I don't think they're going to be getting Lavia as well. So, or if you do Lavia, do Rice, I can definitely see Calvin Phillips going out the door. So.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I think that seems like a natural replacement almost. I love, by the way, Lavia is at 30, but it's going up. I like the 46% and the 26%. Like, there's like an exact science to it. Like, there's a formula they spit in a number of articles divided by number of rejections multiplied by or something. Alex, out of those names over there, any names that you're like really big on, or any names you're not big on, I guess?
Well, I watch a lot of Bundesliga, but the only one that I'm like keen on is Kone. I watched a lot of him at Gladbach, but my issue with him is he's not the best shooter, and I know the ongoing um, the ongoing debate is getting midfield that can score goals. And yes, I think he's got the ability to be that um, to play the CDM role, but his shooting is a kind of concern for me. So,
I'll be honest
but
though. Okay, like I think I can remember maybe a total of 10 to 15 incidents where Fabinho has taken a shot. That one that he scored against City. But you say like shooting is a concern. I'm just saying like if he's playing in a defensive
Right.
midfield, I can't think of a lot of times when Fabinho cranked a shot from outside the box.
yeah, he's not going to bang it in from 25 yards out, like 18 yards out. He's not that type of guy. He's more of like get the ball pass, get the ball pass, get the ball pass, put in a tap.
Fabinho, basically, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm fine
He's
with that.
bangs them in. So
Okay, Alex, can he run?
yeah, yeah.
And fucking sign him. But I'm really into midfielders who can just run because I've watched midfielders who can't run for fucking 12 months. Just get me some midfielders who can run, please.
Yeah,
And I think that's what it is. Like, I mean, his shooting is not a thing if he's going to play defensive midfield for Liverpool. Shooting is not a requirement. You just got to stop the counters before they happen and take the ball and cycle it back in to the ball. I mean, I feel like that's why all those times where we were doing really well and people were bitching up a storm about create a midfielder. While we were winning trophies, people were still bitching about the creative midfielder in the trophy ceremony. But we had midfielders, Kazi, that were, I guess, like more blue collar. They did the dirty work. They got the ball and they gave it to the guys who are going to score.
Yeah. Well, it's like any sport. What you want to do if you watch basketball, you want the ball in the hand of your best player. It's I want you to get the ball to the best player and let the best players do their thing. I just want midfielders who can run. I know that sounds insane to me. I just want hard-working, fit midfielders. I don't care what the ability is in terms of. I don't want them spreading 40-yard passes if they can't do it. I just want them to win the ball back and give it off. Because that's how Liverpool did all their success. And we had tried something a little different with like a Thiago signing, and I understand all that. But I think the Thiago signing was a little bit, this opportunity is too good to turn down kind of deal. I don't think Liverpool regret it for the price, and I think he's been a great signing for Liverpool. Yes, the injuries and stuff. So it did kind of work out. But, it's like when I see people right now, and you see it with the fans on social media, certain fans at least, about Mo Salah going to Saudi Arabia. Would you sell him for 150 million? And Mo Salah's missed 3 games in 6 years due to injuries.
Yeah.
Like, Mo Salah's best ability is availability. It always is for any.
But let me play devil's advocate to you, though. Does that also mean it's due?
No. I don't think
to
so.
catch up with his body. I mean, the dude takes care of his body.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is, but I don't know if that people are like, hey, it's about to happen. Might as well cash in before it happens.
Yeah, I mean, but his numbers haven't dropped out the either. So it's like you've got to kind of run him to the wheel, not the wheels fall off as such, but when you go, now you're starting to get a couple of more knocks kind of thing, but he just doesn't show any signs of dropping his level or getting these injuries kind of thing. I'm a big fan of, sorry.
He never comes off. Like, he's usually like does the full 90.
I know. Every time we get like a League Cup third round game, he's always still on, and you're like, what? Why is Mo playing? He always does it like a random game, like a FA Cup fourth round replay, and you're like, oh yeah, Mo's there again. So, it's awesome to have that kind of play. I just want players again who are fit and available who can contribute. And we do need a younger squad. So this Kone being 22 and Lavia being 19, and I think Thuram's 22, and we need these players, man. We're desperate. We're starting actually to get into desperate mode, which I never thought Liverpool would be at. We are desperate for numbers now.
So, but let me ask, okay, Alex, let me ask you this then. Here's the thing. I mean, when we get guys that are like 19 and stuff like that, I guess my biggest concern, now mind you, these guys have already played, I mean, in the Premier League and stuff like that. My only concern is, are they going to be just another Basatic who, probably we would have never heard of and would have never played for Liverpool? We would have seen him in an occasional League Cup game, and then he would eventually get loaned up perhaps and stuff like that if it wasn't for all these freaking injuries in the first place. by adding other names like that, are we really helping our cause, or it just makes the list deeper? Look, when you move Ox and Keita, you can put either one of us. It makes the availability look a lot better because even though we might not be able to run, at least we'll be available to run if needed. We'll be on the bench, healthy, ready to go. So whoever you sign is an alternative, but is it a viable alternative, or is this Klopp gonna make him route over there as Henderson is crawling on the field asking for a breather?
So kind of like what he did with Andy, like took forever to put him in, kind of thing. Is that what you're kind of? Yeah, I feel like that's probably how it's gonna start. I think the only one, the only person I think that is a signing. Well, we only have one signing. I think McAllister probably is the one that will start at the beginning of the season because we've seen his ability, Klopp's seen his ability, and I feel like he's confident enough to put McAllister in. But the other guys, I mean, like you said, a lot of us don't know a whole lot of information about them. We just know the bare, minimum about it. Now, Lavia, he has played. He was a product of Manchester City, went over to Southampton at the beginning of last season, played really well. So, yeah, that could be he could be, but it's one of those, he seems to be one of those options that's like, Andy Robertson, hey, it's going to be a while till we see him. Like, it's going to be a League Cup
look
game.
How long it took Fabinho to play.
Yeah, so that exactly. He likes to make sure that they get the system down first before he even puts him in. And the only one I think that can actually do it based on that list is McAllister. So,
I mean,
that makes sense. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons, though, that he was, they canceled the U.S. thing, like they're starting the camp and stuff, because I think, and that's one thing that gives me more signs, Kazi, that there will be more signings coming up. I mean, we have this lineup over here that we talked about on Discord that we're very big on. I think we can all agree, for the most part, we like this. I am not big on Watched. I do not like Watched. I don't think he's good enough.
No.
But overall, this makes a kick-ass squad over here. Out of all these guys over here, Kazi, do you want a signing, let's say, for midfield, right?
Yeah.
You just don't want to be seduced. Do you want a guy that's going to be number 3 midfielder in the depth chart, let's say, or like number 4? Like, do you feel like the 11 is done? We just make sure that the 4th and 5th guy are just as good, or you want a guy that's going to be like penciled in first for the most part?
I want a big hitter. I want the whole footballing world to go, fucking hell, Liverpool have signed him. That's what I want.
Such as, like, out of those names, is that name in that list?
No.
Not
really.
Okay, so who's on that list?
Tchouaméni, if they do Mbappe, because they're going to do Bellingham and Mbappe in the same summer.
Oh, if they do Mbappe. I thought you said if we do Mbappe.
No. If they do Mbappe, if Madrid, let's not do that. If Madrid do Bellingham and Mbappe, they might do Tchouaméni in this summer, or they might do a Camavinga. But it looks like Camavinga gets more minutes, and you kind of have more faith in him. Someone like that. Someone I want the fucking. I love Kimmich, but of course I don't like someone like that when you just go completely out the blue and just go, wow, Liverpool have signed him. And I don't like the idea of like a 4th and 5th choice midfielder, because it's up to the player themselves to decide where they are in the pecking order. Because if you get your chance, like Bajcetic did, you're starting every week. As long as you play well, it doesn't matter who, you might be starting over a player who's 100. Valverde's a great answer. So you might be starting over £100 million player. If, for example, Bajcetic, you know what I mean? He came in, no one heard of him, and he's like, well, I'm going to make this position my own. It's my position now, and he did. And credit to him. So it's like, I like the idea. We need players competing. Let's get it right. Our midfielders knew last year that he was never going to start Ox and Keita. They knew they were safe. They were new. Van Dijk knew he was safe. He was never going to start Matip and fucking Kanate in a game in a Premier League. The whole fucking Liverpool fans' heads would have fell off, even though he was poor in certain games at least. So Trent changed position. He knew he was starting every week. He knew he was. So it's like, you've got to create competition. So you need players to know and go, well, this Bajcetic kid's come back and he was excellent last year, and that gets McAllister started, that gets a Kone or a Thuram started to go, do you know what I mean? Thiago, still around, still comes back from his injury and, do minutes as well. So But I want Liverpool to make a statement signing this summer. I know it's not something that we usually do. Thiago felt like that, to be fair. Thiago did feel like, fuck me, we're signing Thiago. It felt like that to me. But
yeah, because it was an icing on the cake, and what an icing kind of a deal, right?
yeah, and when we were going for all 4 trophies, he was integral, and especially towards March and April. He was one of our best players, and he was probably still one of our better players in the final. So he was integral to that point. So I want Liverpool to do that. I don't know if they're going to. I'm just living in hope that they will.
How about you, Alex? Do you want? I mean, I guess the more question becomes, looking at the numbers and stuff like that, do we want Kone and Thuram or whatever out of that list, or do we want a big name? Ryan says Pavard. I am not sold on that kid. Back in the day, I think during that World Cup where he did really well, right? So that was the last World Cup, right?
He scored the best goal in World Cup history.
Yeah, right?
That volley is unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think then I was like, yeah, but then as I watched them more like after that, and I was like, maybe we dodged a bullet here because his price was really high at the time. But anyway, Alex, so like, would you rather go with like the one big name, or we still need more depth over here? Or as McAllister opens the door for one more big name and we're set?
I mean, I think I would love to have that big signing, but I feel like our depth is an issue, and I feel like we need to focus on the depth more than anything. Also, I forgot to bring this up, but if you look at the clubs that these players are linked with, and this is where we're at, these are all clubs that have to sign or have to sell these players type stuff. Like Gladbach has to sell Kone because they just lost Thuram and Benzamanini for free. They got to make some cash off it. Wolfsburg has to make some cash off their stuff. Nice has to make some cash off their stuff, off Thuram, and so is Southampton with Lavia. So we're at that kind of crossroad where we're linked with clubs that have to sell these players, compared to, play like teams that have like a luxury of like a really good player and they're waiting to cash in on.
Yeah. So we have all these things we want, but then we're just going to wait for the best deal that's going to be available.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me. Like, I mean.
So I want to talk about this because Serzi says, how do we compete against all the sports washing? We're not even playing the same game as it is anymore. And I saw this morning where Premier League demanded extra assurances Chelsea were not owned by Saudi Arabia. And then they were satisfied. They were like, oh, okay. That sounds like this is just a comedy at this point. I mean, it's like a bad Saturday Night Live skit, Kazi. And like everybody knows, everybody denies because everybody is getting richer and no one cares. Is this where we're at right now?
Yes. But listen, mate, we can sit there and say whatever you like about Chelsea. Chelsea, they found a loophole. And whether we like it or not, fair play to them. Because I wish we had Ox, Keita, fucking Thiago's only got a year left. I wish we all had them on longer contracts, so I'd be selling them all straight to them. Let's get it right. Liverpool fans are sitting there going, fucking else disgusting what they do. If someone comes in offers 40 million for Thiago tomorrow, you're going, fucking well done, Liverpool. Because he's got a year left.
There's some shittiness here. These guys have some ownership. So this could have been arranged all along anyway.
Yeah, of course. In terms of the ownership and stuff like that, yes, of course, the Saudi Arabian thing, I completely get it. But if they are not owned by Saudi Arabia and they found a loophole just to sell them there, fair play to them. Why can't Liverpool go and sell Matip there, who's got a year left, and Thiago there, who's got a year left, and go and get 65 million? But you know what I mean? So we can sit there and try and play moral high ground.
To be fair, I don't know if they're going to give 65 for Matip. I mean
for both of them.
Yeah.
Thiago and Matip, you probably could get 65 million for both of them because that's what they do. So it's like, it's difficult for Liverpool again to sit there and try and claim a moral high ground. If Chelsea are not owned by Saudi Arabia, I have to be on my hands up and go, you're clever then, aren't you? They're clever. They've made a deal with the league.
But is that clever? I mean, that's like basically saying the guy who evades taxes. Well, I mean, I guess he's clever. Is he clever, or is he just doing something not right ultimately? But has found a loophole to get away with it.
But are they breaking the rules? No.
But the bull, I mean, everybody's breaking the rules in a sense. It's just not.
Yeah,
they're getting away with it.
Listen, if it comes a rule in 12 months, then great. But right now, it's not a rule. It's not. You haven't broke any. Technically, you haven't broke a rule. Morally, you might look and go, "Fucking hell, there's something a bit weird going on there." That's fine. But morals don't make it. Whatever, morals are morals. Whatever they are, they are. But if again, I come down to it all the time. If someone comes in and bids 40 million for Thiago, Liverpool will go and ship him there tomorrow. So we can sit there all we like and go, "Oh yeah, Chelsea, what Chelsea doing wrong?" As long as they're not owned by Saudi ownership, and they are all above and above board with Todd Bowley, fair play to them. Fair play. I wish Liverpool did the same. I wish Liverpool fuck off Keitel 12 months ago.
See, that's where I differ. Like, I understand what you're saying. And I mean, I agree with like that's, for example, of I wish they came in and we sold it to them. But I don't agree that I wish Liverpool thought of this where we sold 10% of it to a Saudi so his club can buy ours and stuff. I would not want that.
No. I'm saying if Todd Bowley owns Chelsea 100% and he flew out to Saudi and made deals with the leagues and went, "Yeah, I'll give you all these lads," and fair play to him. If Saudi owns if Saudi owns 10% of Chelsea, then it's completely wrong and it needs to be completely looked into. It needs to be. Hey,
like I said, they looked into it, dude. Premier League is satisfied. So, they were like, "Oh, okay, our bad." So
we can only take it at face value. Face value right now is Todd Bowley owns 100% of Chelsea. He went out there and he went, "I've spent 600 million. I've fucked up. Any chance you can take some of these lads from me, it will sell you loads of shirts and get some eyes on your league." And he went, "Thank you very much," and he's done something fantastic, in my opinion. It's just, it's genius. It's fucking genius.
Yeah, see, I'm not buying the premise, I guess. I know what you're saying, but I'm not buying that.
Just face value,
100%. He just happened to be like an insurance salesman. They're like, "Hey, buy one Koulibaly, get one ZH free," or something like that. You know, like it would just like, he didn't just do a good promotion and do a good sales job over there, you know, brought their favorite cake or some shit so he can like move him. I think there's like other shadiness going on in the back. Maybe. Same as what we were talking about Wednesday, you know, basically the Kingdom owning 4 freaking clubs in the same division.
Of course. Listen, and that is completely, you know, and you might be right. You might be right about Todd Bowley, and there could be some more shadiness going on. If it comes out, it comes out. But as face value right now of what we know, or only what we know right now, is that Todd Bowley owns 100% of Chelsea. He's went out there and made deals for us, Deadwood. And I really wish that the Saudi clubs would pick up the phone to Liverpool and go, "Can I have Joel Matip? And can I have Thiago?"
Man, I got a bridge to sell you, man. Alex, where are you at with this? Are you buying this? Kazi's playing the coy boy.
I firmly believe that there's no morals in business. It's just at the end of the day, morals is
such an evil morning this morning, for fuck's sake. Okay.
there is no moral. Like, you have to realize a lot of these people that own these clubs are, you know, they have no idea what it's like to be fans or, you know, struggle from day to day, all that stuff. So like morals to them, it doesn't matter. Morals just makes their business look good, basically.
But that's not morals. See, I don't think you guys are differentiating this right. Like, I know, I understand what that means. Business is business. I get that. So when a player is, you know, we don't feel it, we sell them, right? Well, we don't. We should, you know, sell them. Like, you know, like Keita or whatever. And that's not morals. That's basically business, cutting your losses short or whatever. That's business. That's bottom line. Morals is something different, where we're doing something shady. Like we're saying Keita is healthy as hell, buy him for 25 million, even though he's carrying his leg in a bag. So that's morals. And I think that's where I'm not okay with. I'm okay with being all business, cutthroat and all that kind of stuff and not caring about fans, caring about the bottom line. Sad but true. That is the case in, you know, 95% of clubs, probably, definitely 100% of Premier League, probably. But I'm more after, like, when you say morals, I'm talking about doing the shady business.
And that's fair. But there's another part of this as well, where you go, we are all supporters in the most morally corrupt sport in the world.
It definitely has become. I mean, I guess maybe it's something. It was only FIFA and UEFA doing it. Now the clubs are gotten into the game, I guess.
If you're going to put stringency, if you're going to put stringency into clubs like financial fair play, if you're going to put these they will find loopholes. That's how it works. If you're going to do that, they will find a fucking loophole. So what they've done in terms of, again, outside looking in, of course, is that they found a loophole. They went, okay, you're not going to let me spend this. Liverpool are trying to stay within the rules. Liverpool are with financial fair play. We all agree with that. Like Liverpool are trying to, you know, that's a completely another conversation. Chelsea have went, no, fuck that. If you're going to do that to us, but now we're going to do that to you. and we're going to do it this way. And until they close that loophole, people will carry on doing it. Look at Wolves now. Wolves are currently out of financial fair play because they sold Ruben Neves there. And now Ruben Neves might go on loan to Newcastle.
Yeah, which is that's another shady part of it.
Yeah, which morally sounds disgusting. But then there's also a part where we go, isn't that clever business by Wolves? Well done to Wolves, well played. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult, man. It's so difficult. If Liverpool, again, and I keep saying it, if Liverpool go and get 40 million for Thiago and they get spent on players, we'll be all shipping them there. We'll be shipping them there.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
It has become kind of like, I was mentioning it earlier just by coincidence, but it's kind of like tax evasion. Like, people find a loophole, the laws get changed, they find a different loophole. So it's like the laws are constantly changing, like chasing the loopholes. But yeah, I mean, it still feels dirty to kind of, they're like, come on, man, find another loophole kind of a thing. I just find it difficult to say that. Ryan says, thoughts on Mountain United and our chances of getting him. I mean, I personally think if United find them too expensive, there's no way in hell we're getting them. But Alex, where are you with that?
It still sounds, if I saw this morning, they're still struggling to find the price, right? They're still struggling. This is like their third or fourth bid. So if they're not, like you said, if United's not going to get them, I don't think anybody's going to get them at this point, unless it's Saudi Arabia or somebody with deep pockets, really.
I am hoping this is Liverpool's big one. Like the Cody Gakpo situation, when Liverpool were not going in for Cody Gakpo, it was United for fucking 6 weeks. United, and then Liverpool. Luis Diaz is going to Spurs. Spurs. Liverpool just come in and go, we'll match that bid. You want to come to Liverpool? I'm kind of hoping, and it's more hope. I've got about a 3% chance he signs for Liverpool. It's more hope.
13.4.
Yeah. I hope this is the one where Liverpool just go under the radar. This is the big one, like the Gakpo and Luis Diaz situation. Because my God, it'd be great for Liverpool. Fuck me, it'd be good for Liverpool. Like exactly what we need. I mean, if they are
United said this was their last bid.
If they are offering weed to Chelsea,
my last Call of Duty game at nights, and
if they are offering weed to Chelsea to try and sign him, if this is the last bud, as Ryan just said,
well, he corrected us bid. To be fair,
this is our last quality bud. Come on, give us some.
Smoke it or leave it, says United. And,
But I do hope this is the one. I don't think it is, but I just pray it is because I really.
But you'd be okay with that, like if that was the big name, you'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
How about you, Alex? Would you be okay with that if that was the big name signing? I mean guess McAllister. This is what we do as fans, though, right? Like McAllister has become a signing, whereas really, if nobody was signed right now. Well, hold on. Before I come to Alex, let me ask you this, Kazi. If nobody was signed right now, right, and I put that list up there for you, and would you consider McAllister at that time a big signing? Because now that we signed him, somehow he has become like we signed Kone in the first place, like we just signed a midfielder.
No, it is a big signing. It is. I just feel like when we're promised. Not promised as such, but when all the local journalists like Paul Joyce and stuff like that going with him for Bellingham, we're definitely, we're all in for these type of players, then I think our expectations went up. If it wasn't, Liverpool are interested in a Bellingham or, these kind of lads, we wouldn't really be having these expectations of a big signing. But I feel like Liverpool, we all feel like they have money to spend. We have, I'm sure we do, because we haven't really spent a lot in terms of net spend and stuff like that. So, I think Liverpool can spend 350 million before they get close to financial fair play or something crazy figure. So hopefully that's what it is. Alexis McAllister does feel like that, but it's just because we feel like we need more, because we know we need more.
Yeah.
And I think also, by the way, I think I'm the fair, my thoughts on FSG are very much out there in terms of the Discord. At least we've got to give them the 7 weeks, guys. The 7 weeks to go. Like, let's see what happens towards the end.
Wait. Kazi is giving FSG time here? What? Time out.
Bro, I'll give them the summer.
So is the flag in the drawer? The FSG out flag is in the drawer still?
Oh, no. It's always out.
Oh, it's off camera, out. Like behind the camera.
That's on the other wall over there. I'll drag it out next week. I'll drag it out next week for you.
You should put it like on a retractable clothesline and then just like yank it out whenever something is.
Yeah. Hey, it gets so about there on the camera. Liverpool signed Jude Bellingham. I'll just let it back go. Nah, but I mean, but for me, you know, you've got to give. I think what Liverpool fans, of which where the nervousness has come from, last summer when we didn't really sign a midfielder, we were all expecting one. And number two, because we see Newcastle doing good business, we see Arsenal doing good business. You know, City look like they could sign Rice as well, and you know, City look like they could kick on and go and sign Guardiola, for example, and stuff like that. So that's what's making, I think, Liverpool fans nervous. But we've got to wait till the end of the window before we make a judgment, I think.
I think that's fair because, Alex, before, when we didn't sign anybody, and let's face it, this happens every offseason, right? Every time somebody else signs somebody, they were like, how come we're not signing anybody? But at the time, we were like, well, we're ahead.
Yeah.
They're trying to catch up, is what we said, right? But now, well, based on last season, we do not look ahead at all. We're behind. So that's why I think while the guys ahead you are signing people and you are not, it looks worse. But I feel like, when we sign McAllister, if we sign McAllister now, it would have been a huge signing. When we signed it, because we feel like we need a lot more than just one guy, and that's fair. I do think we do as well. We're like, okay, this is great. Like the appetizer was great. Now what's the main course? So maybe if they signed Thuram as the appetizer and did McAllister as the main course, maybe that's FSG's fault right there. But would Mount will be the main course for you, Alex, if Mount is signed behind McAllister?
Yeah, I think he would. We know what he brings. We've seen him play. We've seen him play at the big stage for England. We've seen him play at the big stage for Chelsea. We know what he's about. And I agree with Ozzy. I think he'd be the perfect player because one of my concerns definitely going into the future is Salah. And there's not a lot of people that I think that can back him up on the right wing. I mean, if you need to give Salah some time, like just sitting on the bench, save those legs, I think Mount going on the right would be perfect. And I think he'd be a great player for Liverpool. Like Kazi said, I think he fits our system perfectly too, if he has to go into that midfield role. So he is very versatile, and I think he'd be great. I guess we just have to wait for the Manchester United situation with him, or who knows? We could say that. We can say, hey, he's going to Manchester United in about a couple hours. All of a sudden, Liverpool launch a weird bid for him, and wait till after the podcast for us to.
That's the dream.
I just noticed, by the way, it wasn't even in the transfer market chart. Like Mason's name was not even on there as a rumor, so they're really slacking there.
But I mean, again, it's just because we've seen it before where Liverpool have jumped in last minute and went, we'll just match that. Exactly the same, so Chelsea just accept. My question would Chelsea rather sell to Liverpool or United? Because I think they'd rather sell to Liverpool. Because I don't feel like they want United to go away for the next step to the top four where they can't get back in. Mm-hmm. So right now, it looks like, to me at least, when the two weakest teams in the top four are Newcastle and Arsenal. And they look like they're making signings where they're like, we're not getting out of this now. We are here to stay. And you're going to have to basically get 79, 80 points to knock us out kind of thing. That's what they look like they're going to do. So I think Chelsea would rather sell to Liverpool than United.
I think that's fair. I mean, what do you think, Alex? I mean, would they even care? But I guess we're saying all things are even in terms of money. The offer is the same. Does Chelsea say, you know what, why don't we? Or would they say, well, these guys are already on top. Let's not, we're going to compete against teams like Liverpool to get back in the Champions League. Maybe we don't want to give him any more weapons.
I mean, yeah, that could be a thing. It'd be even more hilarious if we got him for cheaper than Manchester United's bids. That'd be amazing if we got him for like 60 and they were rejecting 80. But I think I agree with Kazi there. I think they're looking at Manchester United and being like, I think there's two things to it. They know that Manchester United will pay over the top for somebody. So they're going to try to milk out as much money as they can. And number two, I feel like Chelsea feels like they might be more closer to Manchester United than maybe on Liverpool's level as going into the future for the top four. Maybe they feel like they have an easier chance of beating out Manchester United for that last spot compared to maybe Liverpool. So
I think the target's United, isn't it? Well, the target feels like to me is Arsenal and Newcastle. I feel like United can make 2 or 3 signings. I think, because Newcastle, especially with them playing European football next year, we could really do with Newcastle finishing third in the Champions League group. Really do with that. let's get them in that Europa League last 32 around February time, because that squad is not that deep. Fair play, they're making a Tonali signing. It looks like that's going to get done in the next couple of days, and Maddison, the link word, and stuff like that. So, but for Liverpool outside looking in, I think you'd rather go, we need to target one of these clubs to get them out. And we have to do, so I think if you're United, you're going to go, if we're going to sell your Mount, I want X amount of money for him, because we don't want to make you stronger and make you guys go and get 85 points, which we can't get. So it's very difficult. It is a balance, but I just feel like they'll rather sell to Liverpool. But
where do you think Mount would want to go? Without taking our Liverpool bias out, let's do the you're Mount's dad's game. Where are you like suggesting? What are you offering him? Son, it's your business, but I would go here because
he'll probably go to. It's difficult because I feel like he seems like a proper nice guy.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that like there are only so many guys that you look at like a rival and say I wouldn't mind the Mason. You know, like Rashford is a guy like that for me out of United, for example. And Mount was one of the few Chelsea players where like, I like that. It's hard to hate on him. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and he's going to be in an area, and we say it all the time in terms of like Liverpool, but footballers are like rock stars, man. They are like the Beatles walking down the street. It is like that. It is very much you are the man. Like, I remember the famous story about Joe Cole when he said when he first signed for Liverpool, and he went to Steven Gerrard, "Do you want to go and get a few drinks tonight in town?" Gerrard went, "I haven't been to town in 8 years." Like, what? And he's like, "Oh, because he was used to going to like Covent Garden and just being left alone, have a glass of wine kind of thing with the boys. You can't do that in Liverpool, mate. Like, it's not." So, listen, from the outside looking in, if you're Mount, you might go, well, they're in the Champions League, and I want to play in the Champions League. Well, Klopp's already clearly said
he's won the Champions League. That's the first thing that comes to mind, right? But he's won it before.
And he was their best player.
Yeah, so is it a pull for him as much as it would have been, if he hadn't won it?
Well, if you're Mount, I would. If you want to say I want to sign for United, that's absolutely fine. But I'd look at Liverpool and go, they just let 3 midfielders go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And the England tournaments coming up, and I want to start for England again in tournaments, then you will be starting 50 games, because Liverpool do go deep in trophies. All right, last year's a bit of a one-off, but last year we got knocked out to City away and stuff like, which you can swallow. Yeah. You got knocked. I always think about that last season. We got knocked out in the trophies against really good sides. Like Real Madrid have been the best side in Europe for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Man City, the best side in England. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But if I look at Liverpool, I can probably think that I can start for 50 games. If I look at United and the way United play, at least he plays Bruno in that like number 10-ish kind of weird hybrid role as well. He looks at Eriksen and Casemiro, and he plays them quite deeper. It's like a 4-2-3-1 kind of vibe. I feel like with Ten Hag. So where does he fit in? Because I don't think he's fitting in over Bruno. Does he want to play in like a number 6 role alongside Casemiro? I don't think he does. He's not starting on the left over Rashford. So I don't know where he kind of fits in. But that might be just me hoping.
And I don't know that he's had it, like he did it against us, which was really stupid. Like he puts Fernandez on the left.
Yeah, it was awful.
Which is why we kind of freaking smashed him, I think. But, like it would be Mount would be a lot better option over there on the wing as opposed to a dude like Fernandez. And you don't know if Ten Hag is playing the way he is based on who he's got. Like maybe this is not his ideal scenario or whatever. I guess, Alex, my biggest thing over there is, does Mount look at either club and say, on paper, I feel still like maybe we're biased because we're Liverpool fans, but we're a bit more solid in terms of stability. While Ten Hag has improved a lot, and I think most fans are big on him, it's almost still feels like very rocky over there, where a couple of like a bad start with like a loss and a draw or something like that to the season, and all the dominoes will fall off. I think it's like a very, very fine balance over there. Whereas, even if you have a poor start over here for Klopp, it's still a safe environment. It's, the flags are FSG out that, Kazi has over there. There's no measure like Klopp.
Yeah, I think that's what's coming down to, because I don't think it's about the money. I don't think it's about anything like that with Mount. I think it's just the fact that I feel like he doesn't feel respected or loved by Chelsea. And I think that's the biggest thing, is why he's leaving Chelsea. I feel like that's what's coming down to. And that's his choices between Manchester United and Liverpool. A good analogy of this would be like, I would compare I would compare United to like the Yankees and Liverpool to like the Cubs almost. And if you here, I'll get to it. So the
Yeah,
Yankees,
you
like
just made me throw up, but okay, go ahead.
Yankees, okay, Yankees, you can go there and be you can be a star, but you might like if you do badly, people are gonna focus kind of on you type of stuff, and you might not feel the love, and you might feel like, especially like when Pogba came and all, like just you can just rattle off some names like Lukaku, all of them. You might not if you start playing poorly, the fans will jump on you. But like in Chicago, like with the Cubs, even I watched some terrible seasons with the Cubs. Some terrible
But
seasons.
there's a reason why the Cubs
Like,
are called lovable losers.
yeah, but
And that's because of that mentality halfway, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's where I'm getting at. Every single Chicago Cubs player is loved by the city of Chicago, and I said,
okay,
and all Cubs fans, we just love every single player that's on our team. So I think it's more of like that. That's my analogy where I'm going with it. Is like I feel like he'll get the love a little bit more at Liverpool than at United.
He'll be more appreciated at Liverpool. Like I think, and I think.
Let's just take baseball out altogether.
Yeah, I have no idea about baseball, but I look at it this way, right? I've just checked then again. Liverpool lost the same amount of games as United last year.
Mm-hmm.
We scored a lot more goals than United last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you want one season, probably outside the Champions League, but you will compete for trophies, then it probably is Liverpool. But in terms of, I don't like what Liverpool have done with Firmino leaving. It's act like he's died, right? Every fucking post that Liverpool do is like Bobby Firmino. He's fucking not dead. He's just left. Jesus, I adore the man. From what he's done for Liverpool, he's a Liverpool legend, proper legend. But he's not died. Let's just we'll just fly out to Brazil and interview his fucking family and just relax a bit. All right, you got to pay the fucking hell of a lot of money to stay here as well. Let's get it right. So, but Liverpool can lean on that to players and go, look, this is what we feel about fans, and this is what they feel like. This is how you can felt. It's a famous Coutinho story. You go to Barcelona, you're just another player. You stay at Liverpool, you love and adored. And that's what it can be for you. And that's a selling point to any footballer. So if Mason Mount wants to feel loved and adored and appreciated for how he plays football, then it probably is Liverpool, really.
I think so too. I mean, like I say, we're obviously semi-biased, but I feel like it is a good situation for him. But okay, let me ask you guys this then. Would Mount be looking at Liverpool now saying, I just plug right into that midfield as the 8 or whatever? But so if you sign Kone, for example, next week, is Mount now saying, well, wait a second, now they're signing a bunch of midfielders, how much am I going to play? Does that kind of hurt your chances, if you had any? We're assuming, first of all, that we're in it. But would that affect Mount's way of looking at it? Because as you get more players, his minutes or his share of the pie kind of gets smaller.
But I think you've also got to think, you've got to back yourself, haven't you? You've got to back yourself to go in and go, I'm going to start off with these guys. You've got to.
I mean, obviously he feels like he should be at Chelsea all the time. So
of course, And does he? I don't know if he feels like that right now at Chelsea, where he fucking thinks I can back myself. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like you've got to sit there and go, I can really back myself to start here and be a great player for Liverpool. So I feel like I want players with that mentality. I don't want players coming in and going, I'm not going to start up for Fabinho. I want you to come in and go, no, I'm going to be better than him. A bit like the Bashesic argument. Bashesic was keeping out Kite and Ox when they were both fit, by the way.
Yeah, but that was like, that's a young kid with nothing to lose, or, you know what I mean? Like, he's basically grabbing the chance he has, kind of a deal.
Of course, maybe, and maybe it is that. But I want players to come in and go, let's get this right. When Liverpool signed Mo Salah, everyone was going, where's he going to play? Because Mane plays on that side.
Yeah, true.
And then Salah comes in and goes, no, I'm going to fucking play on that side because I'm going to be a better player than him. And he was a better player than him. So it's that, I want that mentality. I want that thing. Of like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be the best player. Trent Alexander-Arnold's a great example. Yeah, you might say it's a young kid thing again. But let's get it right. When Trent came into the team, no one thought that he was going to get in over Nathaniel Klein. As soon as Klein got fit, everyone thought Klein would come back in. Yeah. Everyone thought that because Klein was a great right back for Liverpool. But people forget that as well. But Trent went, no, I'm going to have to be the best player. I hate the arguments and I hate the thing of like, he's going to be fifth or sixth choice and stuff like that. No, Curtis Jones has walked in and went, all right, I've got 10 games here to prove I'm a great midfielder, and change the mindset of the manager. And he's done that.
Yeah.
He's now making the manager think. The manager's going to make it very difficult not to start Curtis Jones' first game next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's made it extremely difficult, and that's what you've got to do. So, if it's more for Mount if you sign Kone or McAllister, I'll be looking at Curtis Jones going, fucking, that kid was fucking great for 10 games. Or like Liverpool's best midfielder by a mile. So it's that argument as well. And that's credit to Curtis Jones. That's credit to all the other players who come and do it. But I want players who are going to come in, like McAllister, who's going to come in and go, I want to be a better player. I want to start for this team.
Okay, devil's advocate moment for you, though.
Go on.
Will the manager make a big difference then? Because let's face it, this manager does not really rotate much or give dudes opportunity unless somebody's hurt. Such as Trent never shows up unless Klein is hurt. Or Jones never gets in unless, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, 100%. But right now, though, with all the players leaving, them opportunities are wide open. Let's get it right. We don't know who's going to... It's probably the first time in 5 years we do not know who's going to start centre midfield in the first game of the season. Yeah. Out of 4 players. We have no idea. Well, no. Liverpool will sign 3 midfielders and Klopp will do Fabinho, Henderson and Elliott just to piss us off. But
that's what I'm saying, though. Like,
I know what you're saying. But
the fact that that's very possible is scary.
I know what you're saying. But it's wide open is what I'm saying. Liverpool right now is wide open. So, for example, we have no idea who's going to start left wing. No idea. For 5 years, we knew who started left wing for Liverpool, Sadio Mane. So
he has actually, but yeah, I know what you're saying. We never know if we're going to make Nunez a winger or something in the offseason.
He might do Jota left wing. He might do Darwin Nunez left. We just have no idea what he's going to do. So right now, this is wide open for any single signing who wants to play for Liverpool. This is wide open. This is your chance to come in and go, I'm going to play 50 games next season for Liverpool, because there's 5 different positions that are open in terms of midfielders and left wing and striker. You could argue Cody Gakpo's probably got 9 nailed on. But then there's also an argument with Diogo Jota will be like, no, you haven't. Yeah. I want to play now for Liverpool. And that's what we need. We need.
And I think the front line, all the examples you give are the front line. I think that's the only location where we have depth, where people can make those claims and say it's my spot.
This is another question I want to bring to you guys, actually, right? Because we have Liverpool have 5 strikers, right? Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Darwin. We lose Salah in January to the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
We are 1 injury away from just having 3 in that month. Oh, would you do 1 more? Would you do a forward that can play across the front 3?
At best, I would do a young winger, which I think you already have. You know what I mean? You would just go to your youth. I mean, well, because of other needs, though, in an ideal world, I probably would say yes, but I feel like because you have other needs, that would be the very last thing on the shopping list. Like you see one at the register as you're checking out, you throw it in the cart, but you don't look around the store for it.
The one forward I thought who could do the job, the one midfielder, was Fabio Carvalho, was the one who I thought. You know what I mean? But now he's fucked them off. Yeah, I don't want to see Elliott play right wing for Liverpool because I don't think he's quick enough. So I'm like, then I'm half looking to myself going, Liverpool, Darwin, he's been a bit hit and miss in terms of injuries and also his form. Salah's a guarantee, but he leaves. Do you know what I mean? Luis Diaz is coming back from a long-term one. Jota's had his little knocks and injuries last year. I'm kind of looking to myself going, we have depth, but are they all going to be fit at the same time?
Bring back Divock, baby.
Come on!
Hell, let's do this. Let's do it. I don't know. He was rumored with Fenerbahce for a little bit, but they went with Zeko instead. Yeah, he was actually. They were talking about, because one of the things was Arda going to AC Milan, and it was kind of like a, money and Divock for Arda kind of a deal, but it never happened. Alex, man, I was gonna come with you for a question. I forgot. Oh yeah, answer Kazi's question. I was gonna pass that on to you for. Do you go after another winger or something like that for when Mo's gone, or just for basically backup, like he says, come January? Because every season we get hit where we don't expect. So, last season excluded.
To be honest with you, I totally forgot about the African Cup of Nations.
Oh, how could you?
I've never hated a tournament more than the African Cup of Nations, especially the last like 6 years when we would lose Mane and Salah to it. That always, oh man, I still can't get over that tournament. But Kazi makes a good point. Is yes, we have depth, but do we have? I think the best word to say is it reliable depth based on like last year, because Nunez missed some games, Diaz missed most of the season, Jota missed some games. Like you said, you could be down to 3 people right then and there. So it makes like going for another somebody like on the right, maybe another young, like you said, another young attacker, something to help out. Because I also agree, I don't think Elliott is good enough to fight or good enough to play on the wing. I just don't think he is. I think he seems like he's a lot better. He's a lot more comfortable in the midfield. But
I think you can kind of slide him over there in the last 10-15 minutes of a game and get away with it, but you would not start him.
I think technically he's good enough. Just don't think he's quick enough.
Yeah. Yes.
He hasn't got that burst of pace the way Liverpool play. So,
and the strength too. Like Mo is not a big dude, but he's a strong dude.
He's so strong, man. I always look at that goal against United when Dan James literally runs into his back when he scores that second goal later on.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't even look like he moves him. He doesn't even look like he moves him. He's a strong man. Yeah.
So let's finish with this. Alex, we'll start with you real quick. I think it's the same trio scheduled for next Friday. When we meet here next Friday, are we talking about a new signing, or are we just pulling up a longer list of rumors over here?
I think we'll be talking about a new signing or somebody or a bid that went in, honestly, because it seems like I don't think it's going to be like Kone or Thuram, but it sounds like that kid. What's his name? Viega, right? Is that how you?
Yeah.
It sounds like that one is picking up a lot of heat. So I think it might be him. He might be the one that could be the one we're talking about next. I know absolutely nothing about him, so it'll be
I know more about him than I know about the other guys, to be honest with you, because I end up watching La Liga a bit more than the other ones. But how about you, Kazi? This time next week, are we talking about a signing or more rumors?
More rumors, probably. It's not that I haven't got faith in the thing of like 7 weeks, but I just feel like I don't like this idea of we're going to put a bid in after the Euro 21s, which is what does preparing a bid mean? Can anyone explain?
I know. I was gonna put that on. We were preparing one for Barella too.
What mean? Preparing a bid?
I think you do a template on Words, like so you can fill in the numbers or whatever.
Like it just doesn't make any sense to me, all that kind of stuff. So, if they want to wait till after the Euro 21s, they will be making a massive mistake because Thuram could be the best player. Then they're going to add 25-30 million on, and then Liverpool get priced out and go, well, we tried.
But his release clause is his release clause at this point.
But why are we trying to negotiate a low release?
Because we don't want to pay the release clause. If he's, I guess, really good, we're like, okay, I guess we'll pay the release clause kind of a deal.
Mate, I think the Klopp would rather go just spend the extra fucking £3 million so I can have him for pre-season, please. Just give me a break. Do you know what I mean? I just want the kid for pre-season.
I think Alan was mentioning that though. That the only thing that worries me about him and Klopp is would Klopp say he's not going to be in preseason anyway because this kid is going to get time off after this tournament is over, so he's not going to be there for the beginning of it anyway. I don't know if that would sour off, or definitely sour off his starts even if he does get signed.
Maybe. I just think it feels like when Liverpool do their best business, it's early. I think we've all felt like
usually,
that.
Yes, true.
When we do Liverpool at their best window, it's early. We don't want to fall into an Arthur situation kind of thing. So I don't think we will. I think we've learned lessons from that, to be honest. A lot of lessons from Arthur, especially with the wages we're being paid and stuff. But I just feel like, no, we will not be signing a player by then. But I do have faith that Liverpool will probably do 5 players this summer. But maybe it's just me.
I still have faith. I think it's just too early. People are kind of jumping the gun and pressing the panic button.
People are petrified, People are petrified that the Tonali deal and Declan Rice maybe go to Arsenal with Havertz, and
I think these are all names we were never in for in the first place. And honestly, in some ways, as these names come off the market, and these spots are getting filled, the price on your guys are, if anything, going less because there are less options for them to go to. So if you could say, hey, I could have gone to Arsenal, or they were in the mix, they're not in the mix anymore because they signed these guys and stuff. You know what I mean? So the suitor number is getting less. So the demand is getting less. So I mean, the price would go down.
Well, that's one way of looking at it for me. I just think it feels like when people are going, oh, you know, the under-21s, and Newcastle just signed Tonali, and Tonali's in the under-21 tournament. So it can be done. So let's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it can be. No, you just fly out and just do your medical there. Like, you just send your guys out to do the medical.
Or you just watch the game. You're like, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah. You just, Which I will always take to the bank. That's what Liverpool did with Minamino. Minamino was excellent against us for Salzburg, and they just went, fuck me, who's that? 7.5 million. We'll take him for 7.5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we saw him like with a naked eye. He passed the naked eye test. Basically.
Instead of signing the other guy, which was called Erling Haaland, no, we signed Minamino instead. But I mean, you know, what can you do?
Well, let's see what happens. I still have faith that we might have at least something a lot more serious to talk about than like just like.
Before we go, we'll make it quick. Tim, how many players do you think we need? Would you sign a right back?
4 to 5.
Would you sign a right back?
Yes, based on what we're planning to do with Trent, though, that's the problem with that. Yeah. But definitely a center back, probably 2 midfielders still, and that, you know, a wing, like a young winger that we will have never heard of.
Alexis
like plays in Belgium or something like that.
You're saying like Alexis +4 or Alexis +3?
Alexis +4 is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Alex, are you the same?
Yeah, I feel like I think if not midfield is a concern, it's definitely I feel like center back is another concern for us. Massively. I think that's an underrated concern that we have because the midfield is so bad that I feel like when I look at our center backs, I'm like, what, Van Dijk looks like he's running on empty for the most part, and Matip, he looks like he's just done. So you kind of look at him and be like, man, we really need another center back, a young dude that can, so we don't, you know, run Konate into the ground.
Yeah.
I think you consider Gomez to be the right back behind Trent and stuff that way. If you have another center back, you don't want to count the same guy in the depth chart.
You can't rely on Konate's fitness. You can't rely on him to do the hybrid role. Yeah.
I argued that I think for most of the season, I think actually Gomez's best position was right back. I thought
2 years ago, he probably was
very good at right back.
Yeah.
And I think he's more comfortable at right back. So I could see the switch being made if Trent was to go in midfield, that maybe Gomez is that right back.
That's why this offseason is so interesting because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Exactly.
But let's see what happens over this week. I'm hoping we'll have something like very concrete to talk about next Friday, but we'll see. We might just pull up the rumor page again and see how the percentages change. So I'll screenshot this so we can compare it next Friday. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks to all those joining. Do not forget that there's like a week left in the giveaway. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, head on over there and subscribe there. Have an awesome weekend. We'll be back Monday morning. Not with the Polish Prince. I think he's still going to be out there in the honeymoon action there, but I think tomorrow is the ceremony, so he'll be out in honeymooning next week. But we do have some other Premier League guests showing up too. We had Villa this Wednesday. We do have at least 2 scheduled next week, so that should be interesting. It's always interesting to get takes from other clubs, how they view us and stuff like that too. So that's definitely been fun. So we'll see you guys next week, Monday morning, bright and early. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.